And people cannot watch before you start, right?
No, from now.
From now they can join. Ah, Krishna. Okay. Maybe we can have some nice discussion for a moment. Okay.
That was better in German because I also received quite a few things that we don't speak anymore in German lately. But actually most of our viewers are German.
Okay. Okay. I'll sing very shortly. I'll sing very shortly. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to say you don't have to get from Mridanga or so. You want to get? Okay.
I take it.
Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanatari Yamuna Tiravanatari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay. You know the kennst du den Vers auswendig? Na, du musst das jetzt nicht holen. Prabhu.
Ich nehme auch ein Bhagavad Gita.
Ja. Is someone watching? Not yet. Okay. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Wir lesen von der Bhagavad Gita, wie sie ist, übersetzt und erläutert von seiner göttlichen Gnade, Arbeit Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Und wir lesen im Kapitel 7, welches heißt Wissen vom Absoluten. Und davon lesen wir heute den Vers 13. You have a verse with you? Okay. I'm thinking especially that today we can have some thoughts on the purport.
Yeah.
You are expert in this, no? Scrutinizing. Okay. Okay. We recite. Tribir gunamaya bhavair. Tribir gunamaya bhavair. Ebhi sarvam idang jagat. Ebhi sarvam idang jagat. Mohitang nabijanati. Mohitang nabijanati. Mam ebhya param avyayam. Mam ebhya param avyayam. Tribir gunamaya bhavair. Ebhi sarvam idang jagat. Sorry. Mohitang nabijanati. Mamebhya param avyayam. Tribir gunamaya bhavair. Ebhi sarvam idang jagat. Mohitang nabijanati. Mamebhya param avyayam. Sorry? Hare Krishna. You want to join us? We have a small katha on Bhagavad Gita. You're staying overnight?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Welcome. For the yagya also. At 7 o'clock we have a...
Yeah, I've seen in the... Yeah, we are staying.
Very nice. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. At 6:30 we have Arti.
Okay.
And before that we have small discussion on Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
If you like, you just
Yeah, I like it.
stay around and take part.
Yeah, thank you.
You know Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, I know.
You know, of course. Indian book, no? Yes. Okay. Tribihi 3. Okay, but now maybe. Yes. No, I have the English book. Okay. Hallo, Hare Krishna. Oder sprechen Sie auch gutes Deutsch?
Ja, ich spreche Deutsch.
Okay. Und Sie verstehen auch gut?
Ja, ich
Wenn
spreche
ich. Gut.
aber er versteht nicht so gut.
Okay, dann English. English better, no? For you also?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. English. Okay. So, good. Okay, we're reading this verse. And we are... Yes, we just recited the verse already. Now you can just simply repeat also. And we read the translation of the single words of the verse. So, yes, like that. You can just always repeat, and you know this in India also. I heard even the small children, they learn like this. They hear something, and then I heard even, I don't know if it's still like this, but it was just a biography of one person who lived around 200 years in India, and it was described that when he was young, the teacher would say, and then they had to answer, and at the same time they had to write it down.
Yeah.
Like this. You also did like this?
We also
Exactly like this.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Tradition is still alive. Okay. Yeah, I didn't do like this. But yes. So here we just recite in response. So the first word is Tribihi means, you know what it means? Free. Yes. Yes. Gunamayai. It means consisting of the gunas. Bhavahi, by the states of being. Ebihi, all these. Saram, whole. Idam, you know? What does it mean? Yes. Yes. I find it very nice always. Indian people, they have such a natural relationship with the Sanskrit language. Yeah. I hope I will speak one word which is not which is new to you. Something nice.
Many words we also do not know. It's just
Hmm.
familiarity.
Yes.
Yeah, idam kalvidam brahma is the line. So
Yes. Yes. Okay. Jagat. Universe. Mohitam. Deluded. Na abhijanati. Does not know. Mam. Me. Ebhyaha. Above these. Param. The Supreme. Avyayam. Inexhaustible. So, then we read the translation. Deluded, so this is Krishna speaking. Deluded by the three modes. You are familiar with Trigunas?
yeah.
Yes. So, our Srila Prabhupada, he would translate the words sattva. Yes. So he would translate sattva into goodness. Rajas he would translate into passion, and tamas he would translate into ignorance. Yes? So that is our English translation. And deluded by the three modes. Yes?
For your understanding, I am not trying to.
No, tell. You know something, so you can tell.
So the three forms of God
Mm-hmm.
through which the universe is existing
Mm-hmm.
is these three gunas. Among these three, none are bad, none are good. Sattva is the guna which gives you not to hurt somebody, which will make you a better being, to know yourself. Rajoguna is the thing which helps you to protect people. But if it goes high, it will turn into tamoguna. All the warriors who fought the war must have Rajoguna.
Yes, but they must also be guided by Brahmana, Asura, and Sattva, because otherwise passion in itself is actually very bad.
Yeah. So that Rajoguna is the thing where everything is disturbing. Either you can go to Sattva or you can go to
Yes.
Tamoguna.
Prabhu, I read the book since 12 years.
Yeah.
I know the three modes.
So the last
Don't worry.
final one is Rajoguna. Even with Rajoguna, you can attain Krishna.
No.
But it is a different way which most of the people don't know.
No, you cannot attain Krishna by Rajaguna.
Kamsa, who always thought about Krishna,
Yes.
was killed by him.
Yes.
It is out of Rajaguna.
No. No, the thinking of Krishna made him,
Yeah.
but not the Rajaguna.
No. The point is, any form, in any which way you want to think about him. Either you may scold him, you may love him, but the constant thinking about him
Yes.
will make you go near him.
Yes, but not the Rajaguna. That's my point.
Yeah. What I'm trying to tell you is, Rajoguna will also help you, but you will end up in Sattva. If it doesn't help you, it will never be existed.
Thinking of God is good for liberation, but Rajaguna is not good for liberation.
I'm not saying it is good or bad. I'm not saying it is good or bad.
The question is, what is your interest? According to your interest, you can achieve a result.
Yeah.
So everything has its proper place. And you can say, yes, nothing is condemned, and I'm also not condemning, and our Prabhupada is also not condemning. But Krishna himself, in the Bhagavad Gita itself, he will call tamaguna jaganya, which means it's abominable. Why? And it's also said in Srimad-Bhagavatam that the sages, they condemn tamaguna. Not because it's bad in itself, but you cannot do anything good with it. If you're practically in tamaguna, you cannot do anything good. You're practically speaking. Not from vision, but if you are situated in tamaguna, you are useless. You're sitting smoking some ganja all day, or you're simply creating violence, or you're simply very much in a mode of grief. So tamaguna is not good for practical purposes.
Anything is not good, anything is not bad.
Yeah, you can think like this if you like, but the sages, they don't agree with this. The sages condemn tamaguna because it is not useful for achieving any good interest.
Yeah, I understand.
It is not good for anything practical.
It is not good. I can understand that.
So then why are we arguing? Why you want to argue?
I am not arguing.
You're arguing.
No. I am just trying to tell you that here in Germany,
Yes.
most of the people don't know any of the difference between sattva, raja and tama.
Yes.
But he may smoke, he may drink,
Yes.
he may not be bad.
No, he's a spirit soul.
Yeah,
He's good.
yeah. So there is,
But the mode of tamaguna is not good.
it is not good.
Yes.
I don't say it is good,
Yeah.
but I'm saying everything exists because it has a purpose to do.
Yes. I'm not arguing with that.
Yeah,
Not at all.
yeah, I understand. I'm just
Then why are you trying to tell me this?
with the thing you are telling now. Please think in this way. Now the verse you told outside, you read outside.
Yes.
Once think with the thought that everything is nothing like good or bad. There are three kind of things which are running the whole thing, which are created by him,
Yes.
which are destroyed by him,
Yes.
which are him. But he is never, he is not them. He is against those three.
Yes.
Three avastha.
Yes.
So the exact meaning of the verse you told is the thought like this is the exact source.
Did I read something wrong?
No. You read everything right. I'm not able to convey my thought process to you. But yeah, fine, it's okay.
Okay. Maybe usually we do like this. We read everything, we speak little, and then we have little discussion also. So, I just feel like you try to like tell me think like this, but I'm seeing, but I didn't say anything different. I didn't
I'm not.
go anything different.
No. I'm just telling you my point of view, what I understood from the beginning of Krishna.
Yeah, that's all right. Let's do in the end.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're reading the verse. Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, Krishna is telling, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. Purport. The whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these three modes cannot understand that transcendental to this material nature is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Every living entity under the influence of material nature has a particular type of body and a particular type of psychological and biological activities accordingly. There are 4 classes of men functioning in the 3 material modes of nature. Those who are purely in the mode of goodness are called brahmanas. Those who are purely in the mode of passion are called kshatriyas. Those who are in the modes of both passion and ignorance are called vaishyas. Those who are completely in ignorance are called shudras. And those who are less than that are animals or animal life. However, these designations are not permanent. I may be either a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, or whatever. In any case, this life is temporary. But although life is temporary, and we do not know what we are going to be in the next life, by the spell of this illusory energy, we consider ourselves in terms of this bodily conception of life. And we thus think that we are American, or Indian, or Russian, or Brahmana, Hindu, Muslim, etc. And if we become entangled with the modes of material nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is behind all these modes. So Lord Krishna says that living entities, deluded by these three modes of nature, do not understand that behind the material background is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many different kinds of living entities: human beings, demigods, animals, etc. And each and every one of them is under the influence of material nature. And all of them have forgotten the transcendent personality of Godhead. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, and even those who are in the mode of goodness, cannot go beyond the impersonal Brahman conception of the Absolute Truth. They are bewildered before the Supreme Lord in His personal feature, which possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame, and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness cannot understand, what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance? Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these three modes of material nature, and those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated. Om Agyana Timirandasya Ganandana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militangena Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha. Yes, Hare Krishna. So, yes, maybe we can relate to what we were discussing now already, a little bit. Here, Krishna in the verse itself, he is explaining that, yes, in the previous verse, you must know the Gita well, no? Because exactly one point you said, it's the previous verse that Krishna is telling that the three modes, Sattvika, here, Ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasas tamasas chaye mata eviti tanvidi natvahang teshu te mayi. So Krishna is telling all the modes, they come from me, and you should know that they come from me, but I am natvahang teshu. I am not in there, but te mayi, but they are in me. So you expressed this also. So it's very befitting the topic. So yes, God is connected with everything in the sense that it emanates from Him, it comes from Him, and everything is His energy, but still He is beyond it also. So, and this is, we tend to become bewildered by that very much in everyday life, if we are not spiritually very advanced. So, and this is what Krishna is expressing in the verse that we read and right now, that we become bewildered by the three modes. We become bewildered by, at best, we become bewildered by sattva. And sattva means we feel very satisfied and enlightened, and we have a quite clear vision, but we may become infatuated by that. And then we we feel very good. Goodness. Prabhupada or it is translated as goodness. So we feel good about ourselves, and that's it. So that is goodness. And then passion, we become infatuated with material desires and obsessions, and we run around a lot, and we become very active in this world. And then you already, like you said, if you don't have a structure to protect yourself or to engage properly, then you lose your head, so to say. You just run. Yes, you run around and become entangled. And then tamaguna, I said before, we for practical purposes, we become useless. We cannot do much. You can engage this properly, but in itself, the mode of ignorance is not very conducive.
Ignorance is ignorance. Ignorance is never a bliss. But the point is, when the people who are in the path of Krishna, Krishna means love.
Yes. Okay. Next time you give the class, then you can speak 1 hour. Okay? No problem. So, yes. So the point is we become bewildered by these modes of nature and we forget what we really are, which is a spirit soul. Chetkana. That's the Vedic version. We are a conscious living being. We are the conscious. In one sense, we can say we are the consciousness. Because this consciousness is an inherent part of the soul, no matter by what modes we are influenced. And Srila Prabhupada, he's defining here Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras. So he's saying there are different kinds of people who are by default, they're influenced by certain modes. And I guess this is what you wanted to say, that you can adjust your way of life according to your particular mode, and in that way you can actually go beyond it. And that is the whole point, that here, yes, that we should not be bewildered by the modes. We should learn to act with the modes in such a way that it is beneficial. And then, yes, the ultimate benefit, you seem to be, all of you I know more or less, and you also seem to be very conversant with Vedic philosophy and understanding. Okay, but your husband, he knows something, quite something. So, yes, the Vedas, they teach us actually, and especially the great teachers also, they teach us. In our line, we go back to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in general, the Vedas, they say that there are 4 things to be achieved in the world. They say there's dharma, you should be religious, there's artha, meaning you should look for, you should see that you establish yourself properly in your life, acquire some wealth, some housing, some whatever you need to live. And then there is kama. Everyone has some sensual urges, so you have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to do a few things to feel as a wholesome person. So this is also good. And then there's moksha. Moksha means we ultimately strive for to be liberated from painful conditions or from problematic conditions. And moksha and all those things you can look at in a microcosm from day-to-day life. You can also look at it on a big scale, and especially moksha. If you use that word, generally it's meant that you try to become free from the 4 problems identified in the Vedas, which are Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. There's birth and there's death, and in between you have old age and disease, which a sober person will never appreciate as, I like this, I want this. We don't want to die, we don't want to suffer. So moksha, the idea is that we go beyond this material range, we don't take birth again. And generally the Veda, here in the West actually, even to speak that you don't live only once is a huge thing. And that's also a problem with the mode of ignorance, for example. You will think that wenn ich sterbe, dann ist alles aus. Then the light goes off and that's it. People think like this. So they will be very surprised when when they leave their body and then, oh, what is happening here? And hopefully something good, but maybe not. So, but I guess in this circle here we can go a little deeper. So yes, we don't live only once, we live again and again. But sober person will ultimately come to this conclusion that I don't want this. I don't want to suffer forever like this. Not because of to avoid something, how to say, this is not good, but it's just not our natural state of existence to be in those conditions again and again. Yes. Bhagavatam also describes that birth does not only mean that the child comes out of the womb and feels little pain because it's not so comfortable, but also it says 2 months before, at 7 months, the child sitting in the womb gains full consciousness. And he can remember who he is from previously. It says if a person has lived in good ways, it says he can remember around 100 lives. And he can remember all the things he did wrong. And he very much cries about that. He feels very sorry and regrets and understands that because the child in the womb is not comfortable. You imagine you have to sit upside down and your spine is very much arched like a bow, it says. And it's a very uncomfortable position. And being fully conscious in that condition, it's very, very, entwürdigend. It's a very humiliating situation. So if one is pious, then one is humble. And if one is humble, then one can appreciate that, yes, it is because of my own fault. And God has given me what is due to me. And it says that the child then will pray. The child will pray to God that now I'm fortunate, I'm grateful because even though I'm suffering, but I'm getting a human body now. I'm getting a human body. The animal will not think like this, also in the womb, because he cannot. But the human being, he has good reason, he has intellect, he has memory, strong memory. So the human being in the womb, he will realize, I'm a human being, and I'm about to take birth now as a human being. And dear God, now this life I want to give it only for you. I want to give it only for you. So, and for 2 months, because usually it takes 9 months before the child comes out, but after 7 months, then the child, before that, one is in a kind of sleeping state. It says before entering the womb, also before conception, the soul is in a dreaming state, and he's floating in a subtle body. He's recreating a little bit from all that he has to endure in his last life and at the time of death. And the like after a long sleep, we feel recreated. So the soul before going into the next body is also like this, and then he will wake up in that womb, and he already at 7 months the body is quite developed already. Actually, it's fully developed. It only has to grow still more in size. So that soul in that small body then prays like that in great desperation to God, and for 2 months he's praying intensely, God, this life I want to give it for you. And then he comes out, and because that process of birth is so painful, he loses all his memory. So birth is also very tough. And our Srila Prabhupada, there's one purport later where Krishna is telling that also to Arjuna, that this is one aspect of knowledge. This is one aspect of knowledge. This Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam, that you perceive the faults of that. You perceive the fault of those things, this birth, this death. They are not good, they are not favorable, they are not natural, they are not desirable for us. So, because it's so painful, and Srila Prabhupada comments on this, that these things should be discussed. So, I'm very spontaneous here, but I decided, okay, let's speak it a little bit. So, because it's in our everyday life, then yes, the 3 modes, they just cover us up. So much. And especially tamaguna. Actually, the most part of the material energy is tamaguna. And that is also explained in one section of our scriptures, that we say sattva guna is there and we are a brahmana or a kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. But most of the time, most people are very much in ignorance, and there's a thin layer of rajaguna, there's a thin layer of sattva guna, but it's very strong ignorance actually. Because why? Because people never think about this. People never think that this is how I entered this life, and this is how I will leave this life. Death is also very uncomfortable. Sometimes this idea is there that we will just go to sleep, and then, well, a peaceful death, have a peaceful death. You're not run over by a car, you don't have any disease, you just go to sleep when you're old. So, but it's described that at the time when the soul leaves the body, the thing that has to take place so that the soul generally leaves the body, if you're not a mystic yogi, mystic yogis, they can shoot out of their head, and even the skull will crack. So that is one way, but generally we don't do this. So generally what happens is that the three doshas, according to Ayurveda, there is fiery energy in the body, there's air energy in the body and earth energy in the body, and when the balance is lost, that is first called disease, and when it is completely distorted, that is called death. So this is always what happens. So there's a complete disarrangement of the internal functions. And it says that in let's say 2 moments, first moment, the temperature of the body goes very high. Like when you have fever, then it goes to, at I think 43, 44, it means you're like gone. And this is how high it goes. It goes to 43, 44. And the next moment becomes extremely cold. The body just collapses like that, and it becomes extremely cold. So this is never comfortable. Death is always uncomfortable. So, and a sober person will recognize this. So, but we tend to be deluded by the 3 modes of nature. So much so that even this, in one sense, it's a basic thing, but we are very afraid of those phenomena, and therefore we don't like to look at it. So, and therefore, in one sense, it is not so basic. But if we want to go deep into the spiritual understanding, then it is a basic thing. Because we are not the body, and we have a body, and this is our situation with the body. It is the basic thing. So we should be able to look at this consistently, and then what to speak of understanding God and seeing God, it is not so simple. In terms of achieving the ideal, but in terms of going that direction, it is not so difficult, because every small thing you do on the way, it is a step on the way. You say Krishna, it is a step on the way. You recite the Mahamantra, you study the Bhagavad Gita, you offer worship to the Lord. It is all a step on the way. And it will all lead up to that one time we will have that strong heart to face the reality of life very completely and see that, yes, I'm a spirit soul, I'm not this body, I have a relationship with the Lord, and I want to live in that relationship. And then we will gather that strength one day to leave aside this contact with the material world. That is moksha. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So to strive for moksha very sincerely is already a great thing. But beyond that, even there is one more, which was emphasized by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is called prema, love of God. To love God is beyond liberation, because if you appreciate God as a person, and if you can live for the pleasure of God, who already lives for you, actually. God always lives for everyone, because He's always taking care of everyone. That is God. That is the nature of God. And His capacity. Krishna is telling, He's situated in every heart. He's there for everyone, always, eternally. So if we are sincere about this, this goes beyond liberation. Because whether I'm in the material energy or whether I go beyond the material energy, I have a relationship with God. So this realization goes beyond the realization that, yes, I'm in this world, I have a problem, I want to get out now. Okay, you can try. But to love God, in one sense, it is also more simple, because you don't have to be liberated to serve God. You just have to have faith that He is there, and now I do this for Him. That's all. So, and this, then of course, how deep can you go? And automatically liberation will come at one point. Fulfillment of material desires, that will also come, because God fulfills all desires. But if you learn to serve Him and dedicate to Him, then you will see how He fulfills your desires, and He will also fulfill your desires more in a very sweet way, in a very personal way. And if you look at Him then, and at this point, even then, you're not deluded. You're not bewildered so much, because you understand the person who is behind everything. So it is a gradual process. The ideal is so high, but every step on the way counts, and therefore every step on the way is nice. And it is also that every step is joyful. This is also the wonderful thing, that God realization is so high and such a deep thing. To completely have this God realization, to see God from face to face. Our Srila Prabhupada would say, if you become sincere, if you follow this process sincerely, that day will come, you will see God face to face. It doesn't mean you go to the temple. It means that you basically go to the spiritual dimension, and the spiritual dimension reveals to you, maybe in a dream, or maybe, no, in India especially, you have such stories that the Archa Vigraha, he starts to walk, he starts to talk, he starts to move, he shows that he's not a stone. So this can happen to everyone if he attracts the Lord to reveal Himself like that. But even if we feel that I don't have so much devotion to make God show Himself like this, still Krishna is telling Susukhan Kartam Avyayam. Bhakti Yoga, or devotion to God, it's joyfully performed at every step. Yes. So, yeah. So in summary, we can say that generally all living beings are bewildered by the three modes, by goodness, I'm very well, by passion, I want so many things, in ignorance, nothing is good, and I'm just lazy. So people are bewildered by those three modes in different ways. But as much as we come in contact with God consciousness, then it is the journey beyond those three modes. And so, and every time we come in touch, a little bit of that illusion is washed away, and gradually it is washed away completely, and then that is actually the perfection of life. If you can realize God and learn to love God, then you can learn to love Him for eternity. And God is very lovable, so it is not so difficult. And you can, and only a liberated person can fully understand that I can live with God eternally and it's good. Because usually we think in terms of material relationships, and we say that, yes, every relationship, yes, it is nice, but at one point, okay, I need a little break now. Want to do something else. Sometimes we feel like this. So, but God is such that the relationship is perfect. And therefore it's eternal, and it's blissful. So, this is what our teachers tell us, and step by step we work towards that realization. Yes. In something like half a minute, Arati will start. So if someone wants to ask or add something, we can speak separately from this sitting. Yeah? Thank you. for listening. Thank you for joining. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Gita ki jai.